Welcome to the Small Business IT Briefing. If you run a business and don't have time to decode every tech headline, this is for you. Each week, we take what's happening in IT and translate it into real-world insight for small businesses. The kind of conversation we wish we could have with you every day over lunch. No fluff, no overwhelm, just clarity. Let's dive in.
How many decisions do you think a business owner makes in a day? Hundreds? Thousands? Now imagine if just one of those decisions, like how to handle IT, could either streamline your entire operation or create chaos. That's what we're diving into today.
Oh, that's a great setup. IT decisions might not sound glamorous, but they're the backbone of how businesses function. And when you bring in a managed service provider or MSP, it's not just about outsourcing IT, it's about creating a partnership.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Most businesses think hiring an MSP is the end of their IT worries. Technically, it solves the problem, but operationally, it introduces a whole new dynamic. IT isn't just the person down the hall anymore, it's a third party, and that changes everything.
Right? Because now you're dealing with a partnership that requires structure, communication, and alignment. Without those things, even the best MSP can struggle to deliver.
Let's break this down with an example. Imagine a company hires an MSP. The MSP comes in, assesses the environment, and identifies risks. They recommend things like enforcing multi-factor authentication, MFA, standardizing devices, removing local admin rights, replacing outdated infrastructure, and planning for lifecycle upgrades. And at first, everyone's on board. Department heads agree, operations gives the thumbs up, HR says okay, and finance says they'll review it. But then, nothing happens. Exactly. All those recommendations end up in what I like to call the pending bucket. And the problem with the pending bucket is that it's where all the important stuff goes to die. Security improvements, policy approvals, compliance changes, these are critical for the business, but they stall because no one's making the final decision.
And then, weeks later, ownership finally gets involved and they approve everything all at once. Suddenly, the MSP is executing 15 tasks in 20 minutes. It's chaotic, and it feels overwhelming, but it's really just compressed decision-making.
And that's the crux of the issue. Alignment. When there's no clear decision-making process, things get stuck. And when things get stuck, it creates friction. You know what else creates friction? Misunderstanding how MSPs make money. I think this is one of those areas where businesses and MSPs often find themselves at odds.
Totally. Most MSPs operate on a recurring monthly agreement, usually based on the number of users or devices. That agreement typically covers things like help desk support, patching, monitoring, security, and standard administration. But here's where it gets tricky. That agreement doesn't usually cover major projects like migrations, vendor troubleshooting, custom integrations, compliance audits, or architectural redesigns.
Exactly. Just because something involves software or technology doesn't mean it's included in the scope of the MSP's agreement. And if that's not clearly understood, it can lead to frustration on both sides.
This is where communication becomes key. If the business doesn't understand what's included and what's not, they might feel like they're being nickel and dimed. And if the MSP doesn't communicate clearly, they might feel like they're being asked to do work that wasn't agreed upon.
And that's why alignment is so important. Let me share a story about a situation where alignment worked really well.
I'm all ears.
So we recommended enforcing MFA for a client. Before rolling it out, the CEO sent an internal email to all employees. The email said, starting next month, MFA will be required. This is our security standard. IT will assist with the transition.
And how did it go?
Smooth as butter. There was minimal pushback, no drama, and the rollout was completed without a hitch. That simple email from the CEO saved hours of support time and reinforced the authority of the IT team.
Now let's flip that scenario. What happens when there's no alignment?
Oh, it's a disaster. Say leadership gives the go-ahead for MFA but doesn't communicate it internally. The MSP enforces it, and suddenly tickets start flooding in. Employees are confused and angry, managers escalate concerns, and the IT team spends more time defending the decision than actually implementing it.
And all of that could have been avoided with a 2-minute email from leadership.
Exactly. It's a perfect example of how alignment, or the lack of it, can make or break an IT initiative.
So what's the takeaway here?
The takeaway is that an MSP cannot make policy for your company. They can draft it, recommend it, and design it, but someone internally has to say yes. Security, in particular, requires leadership sponsorship.
And if leadership is too busy to be engaged, they need to delegate that responsibility to someone else and empower them to make decisions.
What doesn't work is being too busy to engage while also refusing to empower anyone else. That's a recipe for disaster.
Let's talk about communication structure for a minute. I think this is another area where businesses and MSPs often struggle.
Absolutely. If employees are contacting IT through text, email, Teams, a portal, or even personal cell phones, it creates fragmentation.
And fragmentation leads to inefficiency. The solution is to choose one primary intake channel for IT requests and reinforce it internally.
And executives need to stay engaged, too. If you're not sure what your MSP is working on, ask them directly. Questions like, where are we on lifecycle upgrades? What is our risk posture? What projects are pending? What compliance gaps exist? Can provide clarity and reduce noise.
When alignment is strong, everything runs smoother. Lifecycle planning becomes predictable. Security investments are intentional. Budgets stabilize, and compliance improves.
But when alignment is weak, it's the opposite. Hardware ages, emergency purchases spike, risk increases, and insurance premiums go up.
So, what's the rule of thumb here?
20 minutes of real executive alignment can double productivity. Without it, everyone spins their wheels. With it, things get done.
And ultimately, this isn't about technology.
No, it's about alignment. Technology amplifies structure. If the structure is strong, IT becomes a lever for growth. If the structure is weak, IT becomes a source of friction.
And that's the bottom line. Your MSP can't replace leadership, but with the right alignment, they can multiply it.
Well said, and I think that's a great place to wrap up.
Agreed. Alignment really is a competitive advantage.
Thanks for the conversation. Until next time.
See you then.